Are you
Yeah,
listening?
let's go.
Oh,
Go.
let's
Hi,
go.
everybody.
Saints
Happy
and Frozen
holidays.
backstage. Hello.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Okay, now it's got
Happy
to come off.
solstice, everybody. She's like,
I
okay.
can't handle it more than a couple of minutes. It
Oh, let
starts
me
hurting
fill
my
my
head.
glass up for a second here. I had the best. Oh, Sherry, you haven't heard about this. We just opened this bottle tonight.
Could you pour me some?
Here, just for you.
Is that
Here
rum?
you go. This is mead, and it is made with this version.
I
with
got a glass right here.
strawberries.
Pour.
Oh, there we go. There we go. It's made with in honor of Freya, and it's got strawberries and vanilla hints, and
Ooh.
it's a creamy, liquidy delight tonight. So happy solstice, everybody.
Happy
Happy
solstice.
solstice.
I'll take
Yay.
She's drinking the water.
Clink. Well, I'm drinking Coca-Cola, so.
That's what I had for dinner. Oh, this is just so good.
Oh,
Sorry.
man. Give me some.
They ship,
me.
I'm sure.
Pour me some right now.
Oh, hello everybody. Thank you for being here. As usually, as always, Teresa Levine. She's first, always in chat, waiting for us. We got Jules. Thank you, ladies. I'm sure people will slowly pop in. As
Yeah, the notification just popped up on my computer like 10 seconds ago.
Yeah, it's weird how they pop up at different times.
That's why I started doing those little 30-second video promos.
Yeah.
I don't
So
know
I
if I
could
can
put
do that
those
with a
up.
free.
Huh?
Can we do that with a free?
Yeah, when you go in, when you first go in into the show, into the room, and you click over on where the banners and all that is,
Okay.
click on the one that shows the painter's thing.
I don't see that.
I can't remember what to call it, but click on that and it'll open up, and you have an option of running banners. You have an option, see, like you can go in and put whatever you want in there.
For video though.
Oh, yeah,
You're
they
gonna
have
scroll down a little ways. Scroll down a little
Now
ways.
it's not letting me move anything. I just
Oh, you know, you have the free version of
I do too.
StreamYard.
I have the free version too.
Did they have it on that? Because I remember when I used to have the free version.
Not on.
I couldn't do it. Oh.
No, I have. Video. Oh, okay. Here we go.
Video,
Under
and you
brand.
can just upload. You can
30
run their countdown, which is just the numbers.
Gotcha. I see it.
Going, or you can upload your own video, and it'll run that for however long you want.
The ducks.
And the duck, that's the StreamYard logo, and that you can only get rid of that if you have one of the paid tiers.
Yeah.
If it's a free tier, then the duck logo stays up. And
now I know. Hi, Arlene.
So now you know who's got free and who doesn't.
Cheers.
Hi, Arlene.
Yes.
Hi, Charwoman.
Everybody, happy solstice.
Hi.
I got to stop this, or I'm never going to make through the readings. I'll be like, this car.
I know.
I don't know. I'm supposed to say something.
Fun waiting on these mysteries.
Did y'all watch Dally last night? She did the full out.
Wonderful.
She did a full Viking ritual for the solstice.
Oh, awesome.
She's got like the whole outfit. She's got like the animal pelt and the headband and the whole bit.
Fake. It was a faux wolf.
Yeah, the pelt was not a real pelt.
No,
it was a fake
beautiful.
But it was gorgeous. And she did the whole thing. She did the whole ceremony. It was really cool.
That was nice. I hadn't been able to partake in anything like that, in person, really.
Me either.
It's not the same in Buffalo like it used to be when I was younger. So it was.
Hi, Amanda.
I was watching.
I never knew there was that option to do that. Who knew? I just knew it was the longest night of the year. Oh my goodness.
Oh, the other one's here. Ziva. Come here. Come here. Come here. No, don't walk away from me. Oh, she doesn't come in too often. A lot of people haven't never seen my Ziva. Everyone sees the Mozzie, but this is my Ziva.
That's that beautiful baby.
This is Ziva, Mama. This isn't my Ziva. But say hi, Ziva, to everybody. Oh, I know. I love you too.
Yeah, our kitten loves for my son to hold her because he's got a full beard.
And she gives
And
hugs.
she'll get up and nuzzle up into his beard and rub her face all over it. It's like, yeah, you feel like her mama, you know.
Oh.
Oh, goodness.
Okay. Go ahead. Let me get you out. You want? Nope. Go ask Daddy for it. Not me. Nope. There. Okay. So.
And we're back.
The Grand Canyon. The Smithsonian and government withholding things from people. Go figure. What a surprise. Shocker. Breaking news. So, I don't know if anybody got a chance to see the video I posted. I know we were talking backstage, Val, Shari, and I, about the videos. But AJ does a really great job of researching and putting together his videos. And you gotta love his sidekick, Hecklefish. So it's an animated goldfish that's his sidekick. And just like his name, Hecklefish, it's hysterical. It's really
I love
fun
watching
video.
that show. I try to catch the lives that they do
Afterwards. Yep.
Yeah. The afterwards.
So apparently in 1908, President Teddy Roosevelt wanted to declare the Grand Canyon off limits to all lumber and mining operations to make it a state park. It was going to take at least 11 years, they said, for Congress to be able to designate it as a national park. So, allegedly, but we're all pretty sure this guy, exists. So right now, Smithsonian, if you call like AJ did, you get sent to this person and they deny, saying that he's not real, this never existed. Smithsonian has no idea what you're talking about, yada yada. But the Smithsonian has a real lovely way of, throughout history, receiving artifacts that are found, like giant skeletons, like giants of skeletons, and they get shipped for documenting and examining. And then when they go to file through, they're like, well, we don't know what you're talking about, we don't have anything here. I mean, this is literally what they've been doing throughout history. So same thing happened with this expedition. So this gentleman who was an adventurer and explorer, his name was G.E. Kincaid. He took a boat down the Colorado River and wanted to go through the Grand Canyon because people were still mentioning back then they were finding gold, some silver, copper down there, and he wanted to see if he could find anything that he could maybe salvage before it became off limits. And during his trip, he discovered, let's see, let me just read right here. AJ puts a nice little briefer up here. About 40 miles upriver from the El Tovar Crystal Canyon, Kincaid saw stains in the sediment formation about 2,000 feet up. He tied the boat and got out. And so basically, in a nutshell, he found a trail. It was a short hike. There were hundreds of steps, I guess,
Yeah, that's what they were saying. He came across steps. Stairs. Yeah.
And it was carved all into the sandstone. And when he went in, he found a cavern, went in, and from there, in AJ's video, he narrates exactly in every dimension the size of the rooms, how far. I mean, this place was so huge that the main area that they got to, because he ended up at one point leaving, asking the Smithsonian for help, and got another professor to join him named Professor S.A. Jordan. And they did put apparently a group of a crew together, to be able to get down there, because I don't know if y'all ever been to the Grand Canyon. I lived in northern Arizona, so I was there at least once. It is a dangerous hike down there. It's not as, you just don't take a trail. I mean, it
It's
can be
not
very
people
treacherous.
friendly. It's like It's like
No,
this.
I lived in Phoenix for 10
fall.
years and I never went to the Grand Canyon. I could kick myself for it.
Oh, well, I got
But
to make there at
I have
least once.
vertigo so bad that I was worried if I went.
You probably would.
One,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been able to have driven up there because I can't do mountains. I love to look at them, but I can't drive up them or down them. And so I just never got around to going.
So it was a rough way. So they are, they got the donkeys, they took the mules that took a whole crew down there. And for the Smithsonian to say this these days that, well, that's fabricated and never happened. This was very detailed notes. Somebody who just wanted to do this, you know, off the top of their whatever, even just for shits and giggles, excuse my language. But I mean, this guy was serious. I mean, he was running down dimensions, how rooms would form into, points, and how the holes were there for the air to come through and for the light. I mean, and his description. Now, he was an archaeological trainer. This is going back to the 1908. So I don't even know if this may have been just before or around the time that Tutankhamun's tomb was discovered. So people really didn't know a lot about hieroglyphics. So he had some knowledge. And when he went in, it looked like to him he was seeing hieroglyphics. But then as they explored more, the Egyptian hieroglyphics also looked like almost Buddhist, with lotus and people saying in lotus positions. So it wasn't quite Egyptian to them. It wasn't quite Buddhist to them. It did not at all clearly look anything like
Native
the
American.
Native Americans that lived there. So this was way back. This was, and it was so highly civilized that the way everything was, and to get up to that level, that must have been too before, I think maybe even the Grand Canyon was that cut deep. I mean, nothing could be actually further investigated, because when Kincaid and Professor Jordan went back to ask for more help to, excavate more and to start cataloging everything. I mean, they were finding mummies and alcoves and whatnot. And the Smithsonian said, no, denied. And all the materials, everything that they wrote down, the notes, the drawings, things that they had brought out, the Smithsonian said they don't exist. They have them, but they don't exist.
Yeah, the Smithsonian has been known throughout history to secretly keep those things hidden from public view they don't want to change the history of the world. So this is just another one of those cases where the explorer wrote to Smithsonian and sent some notes and things, and the Smithsonian immediately responded, yeah, we'll come and join you, because that's right up their bailiwick, something that would change history as we know it. Mm-hmm. These people were there before the Native Americans.
Mm-hmm. And there was nothing similar to the because and there's
several and different... that's what with the other video I watched. I'm sorry, Heather, I didn't mean to interrupt. Mm-hmm. They were saying that what they found when it appeared to be even older than the Native American.
Yeah, way older.
Way like thousands of years older, according to the one guy that I watched. So I was like, that's, it's. Sorry. And it makes me wonder, because right now the Colorado River is so low.
Oh, yes.
I mean, there are areas where it's like completely dried up. Mm-hmm. But the river itself is so low that people that try to traverse that way now probably can't see or find what this Gibson man found, because the river now is so much lower that you can't see sitting in a boat.
Yeah.
What's in the sidewalls of the cliffs.
They have
that you probably would have seen 100 years ago. They
apparently some people have gone in and found it. And what happens when they do is that's a completely restricted area by the government.
Yep.
They don't even want
Planes
you to
will
fly
fly
over
through.
it. So immediately black um, hawk helicopters show up with
Yep.
no sign on the outside, just dark black, and they intimidate so that you don't go any further. Or planes fly in, little light
Yeah.
planes too.
And all the holes that were supposed to be on top have these
So
concrete slabs on them.
it's not that hard to find. It is
Mhm.
that they restrict you from going, and they make sure that you aren't going to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get
Yeah.
intimidated.
And
Yeah.
one of the guys that I watched on his show, they rented a helicopter and tried to go. And when the pilot was like, okay, where exactly are we going? And when they finally told her exactly where they wanted to go, she was like, nope, can't do it.
They get
It's like,
shot
not
down.
worth my license. I can't fly there.
No.
You know, it's
Yeah.
off limits.
See, now what Warrior Girl is bringing up, that's what I was thinking, because they were finding these civilizations that hieroglyphics that, but also like Buddhist and all these different. I'm wondering if that was one of the locations where a lot of the people fled after Atlantis was destroyed, or any
Could be.
other,
There.
ancient civilization, especially after or before. That was something I wanted to ask the cards of. The civilization was there prior to the Great Flood or after? Were these remnants of Atlantis? Because people keep thinking Atlantis is just tiny, small little area. But I'm really thinking that Atlantis was much bigger than that, because back in the day, a lot of the continents were more
The land
closer
masses,
together, a
bigger
larger
land
land
masses.
mass.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm open to exploring this.
Miss
And
Taro D's here.
hello, Miss Taro D. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, Mr. O.D.
And they said that, and when AJ brought up Kincaid and Professor Jordan, they disappeared. So
Yeah.
what happened to them?
Oh,
They
you see
disappeared.
what he put? Miss Taro D put it 7, be 8:22 your time. Yeah.
Yes, that is actually they're referring to the rickshaw um, in Africa. If you want to learn a lot about, there's another channel. It's called Bright Insight. Jimmy Corsetti is the YouTube creator. He explores everything, Egyptology, UFO, everything. And he did several videos on the rickshaw structure
Yeah.
that is in. And when you watch that video, he explains how, you see the rings, the three concentric rings. You see how, back in the day with Africa being covered, in lush forests, and there was a river that ran across it. And the catastrophe, it's just the amount of research some of these YouTube creators put in is just incredible. And that's
It
what
is.
inspires me to want to do these videos.
Right.
Especially if it's an area they live in where they know the area better than somebody going in cold that would not know.
That was the one that Miss Taro D watched. Yes, the rickshaw structure. Yeah, it's amazing, the knowledge. And Jimmy is a veteran, and he was in, he served in Iraq. And so coming back, he needed something to refocus his um, attention. Thank you, sweetheart. He needed something to focus his attention, trying to readjust to life. And he had always been interested in, UFO and things, the ancient civilizations that he saw before the Taliban destroyed them. Those ancient structures. He got to see a lot of those just, prior to them being destroyed. So he's always was fascinated by ancient civilizations. And so that became his passion. And now he's been to Egypt several times. He's talking with, Wilcox and Childress and, all the big heads. So he's really making a name for himself, and he really does his research. So him and AJ,
Well, and I
really
meant to
recommend.
watch. I was gonna check out Lon's archive for his blog that he does, because I know I've read something or watched something on with Lon's channel at some point in the last 15 years or so that I've known him. that covers this, because when the Y-Files came out and did their show on it, the first thing I thought was, oh, I've heard about this before.
Mhm.
So, and my intention was to do that today, and it didn't happen. So, woke up with a migraine. I fought a migraine all morning long.
Oh no!
So I wound up
You've been
taking
such a
medicine
busy
and just
lady.
sleeping. And
Yeah, the weather's really affecting people too. This change, the sudden change in weather. Some days I wake up and my sinuses. Some
Yeah.
days I wake up with that. I mean, you just
Oh, the sinuses.
well, it's like today wasn't quite as cold as yesterday. And they're saying something about tomorrow. It's supposed to get up into the 60s. And then the day
Not
after
here.
that, we've got like a major weather warning, hard freeze, high winds. They're talking about high winds that
Yeah, we're
is
getting a
bad enough
storm.
it's going to get cold enough to snap lines, but you start adding high winds to it, especially down here where you got all those old oak trees and everything that, they can't.
Yeah.
It can get kind of rough. But it
Yeah.
makes me wonder why somebody hasn't tried to sneak a drone up there to check out.
Oh no, you can't do anything in government owned territory that is not seen. I mean, like Area 51 and all of that. You go one step past a sign, they're there within seconds. I mean, they have cameras and people watching from all over. So people really, and also too to add, I don't know if the videos you ladies saw, but there are these tunnel openings, but they've got metal bars over them, and people are asking, well, why are all these have they said, well, it's to protect the bats or to protect your safety, and they're like, okay, whatever, so whatever, screwy government, excuse that they can put out, it's
Exactly.
just
Yeah.
so the first question for me for what I want to do was exactly, were these multiple civilizations?
Right.
um so I didn't know, but that would be a good question to start out with.
They had also come up with the idea that maybe looking at the Buddhist statue, that maybe it wasn't quite Buddhist, or it wasn't quite,
Yeah, it's
Asian. But they
interesting.
came up with Tibetan. The Tibetan, they were more closely associated with the looks of a Tibetan,
So
but
I'm just
still probably not that either. Just
I mean, thousands of years ago, and how people, there may have been several different civil, because with Atlantis and the area when those volcanoes hit, that was so catastrophic. They
yes,
probably took out multiple civilizations that, because
yeah,
Atlantis was known to be at one point a warring continent civilization. So you already know there were other peoples, you
mhm,
know, on the planet besides that. So whenever what took them out probably sent shockwaves into the other countries and
mhm.
people having to, flee. And
Well, it was just a couple of weeks ago that there was an article in it was either Time or it was one of the British similar type of magazines, and they had just published a story that they had found skeletal remains. I
mhm.
don't remember if it was England or Scotland, but it was like right in that area that they were able to date back thousands of years older than what we thought the first civilizations were. And I remember when I saw that, I thought, oh, that's kind of cool. It's
Mhm.
because carbon dating is getting more and more precise to the point that they can't really
And I think a lot of the
brush it
reason
off
why
and
too,
say, oh, well, it's just bad science. Well, no,
yeah.
they kind of know what they're doing. So,
So I
Right.
think a lot of it too is that these agencies like Smithsonian and these different country governments, they don't want people to know the actual history because it would probably, wait a minute, probably it would affect, religious standpoint, religious dogma, because if, if everybody were following what the Bible said was true, and then there's evidence contrary, that would throw a lot of people into spiritual, pandemonium. People would be questioning people. So, and yet I don't think they really give the human race, or at least most of us, the common courtesy of like, come on, we can handle it. I mean, it's better than being lied to, kind of thing. So,
I'm of the mind, and this is just my opinion. It's strictly my opinion. That a lot of the reasons why governments around the world have not revealed that, yeah, there are ETs, they are here, they've been here for a long time. We work with them hand in glove. The reason why they won't admit it is because there's such a vast majority of people across the globe who are followers of either the Christian religion or some of the other religions, that information coming out would contradict everything that their religion teaches them, and that people would flip out over it. It could get ugly.
yeah, really
I
fast.
saw something on that several years back. It just popped in my head, where they were talking about, I think it was an interview they did with one of the MUFON people, on ETs and spaceships and all that. And that's one of the things they were talking about, was the fact that, that because of the religiosity of so many peoples, that they don't tell them what's really going on, because these people would trip out completely. Like,
That's right.
what was the question we're shuffling for? God.
The question was, if what they found were a collection of multiple civilizations, and not just one. And I have three different decks out, and it's funny. I have three decks. Three right now, and each of the first cards all have desert in the word. Desert, Jasper.
Oh, wow.
The pillars of light right there. It looks like the picture was taken right in the canyon or nearby the Red Rocks. Pillars of light coming down. The first card before that was Pleiades, so there was something of our star seed, our ancestors. There's no doubt. And then the card under that from another deck was the first one, was Close Encounters. So sacred reverence, they held that area is sacred too. There's like 5 different or 6 different native tribes out there that make that area their home. They connect with that energy. From what I understand, the Hopi, and I didn't want to get too much, because I wanted to be respectful to, their religions, but the prophecies that are there already in the public talk about the ant people, that they were part of a race that were out from under the earth. They may have been, subdwellers at some point, and because of our ancestors coming and creating, you know, um, that new civilization, bringing forth and becoming, a lot of people's gods, like just about every religion, spirituality, there's a connection. I mean, even in Renaissance paintings, these are supposed to be, paintings for, the Vatican stuff, and they're painting UFOs in their paintings, and it's just like it's right there. So, but yeah, Call of the Muse, everything's all galaxy, dancing, moving, sacred energy. Um, and with the first card, the Pleiades, channeling and uplifting humanity. So a lot of those civilizations, um, were connected with our ET brothers and sisters that I'm getting from, these cards right away. So
That makes
what
sense
did
to
y'all
me.
get?
Well, I pulled some interesting cards. First, I pulled from Scott's ET deck, and it just says patience is a virtue, trust the timing. So there's a reason why they are just now starting to let some of this information come out. I think the fact that Ukraine has every night since this war started for them has had multiple unidentified flying objects over their space, moving in ways that equipment that we have today can't move. And there's been so many sightings and so many videos put out, people saying, this is going on, that that there's no way I think they can hide it anymore. And so they've been and then I pulled the balsamic moon, which just says a time for healing.
Yep.
So I think that once we know that, once we get the all clear from government saying, yes, these are real, yes, they've been here a long time, it's going to take a while for people to kind of heal, because you're going to have two ends of the spectrum with this. You're going to have those of us who are going to be like, yes, I knew it. And you're going to have others that are going to flip the F out and not know what to do about it. And then the last one I pulled was just Oracle. The Oracle. And
I like the High Priestess, yeah.
Yeah. Which to me just says that a lot of the ancient civilizations looked at ETs as oracles. They were the ones bringing information from the gods, if they themselves weren't treated like gods. So,
and you had two pillars in that card. And then one of the cards I pulled, there are pillars in this one too.
Yeah.
It's called Pillars of Light.
Two pillars, you got the moon, you've got the surf, you've got, I can't see it, it's in the dark.
It's almost like the pillars hold up humanity. They bring the light and information, holding up humanity with their higher knowledge.
So I'm wondering if this was then after the flood, and this was them upholding humanity, bringing them back. Shari, honey, were you done?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
Go ahead, Val.
Okay, so, I got some strange cards. I was trying to make sense of them. But love, the Ace of Cups, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Magician. So, you can call this, you can call this your magician or your divine practitioner, whatever you want to say about this card. That's who they were. And something, I don't know, it seemed like something happened that brought them their tears.
Yeah.
And the High Priestess. So they had divine intuition and guidance, along with the Queen of Cups. They had a good time, a good civilization. They built themselves a home, which apparently could fit 50,000 people.
Yeah, it's incredible what they were able to do.
The sun was shining on them. They were doing their thing. King of Pentacles. So they really were, they had everything they needed. But I got the sword, the King of Swords, and the New Beginning, and I got Vomit. So to me, this actually sounds like they had to leave where they were. When I get the Vomit, I just think of illness or thinking of something making them go on that new journey somewhere else, whether it was off planet or on planet in another spot. Maybe they were getting discovered and they had to leave. But I got the gold mine, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Five of Cups. So I think
leaving behind, the sadness, the regret.
Yeah. So there it was. Then this kind of shows something happened. There's an island they went to, and they went to it pretty fast. It was a fast thing what they had to do, whatever happened. So I don't get that they had more than one civilization there. I think that was just them living there, doing their thing.
Coming together. Kind of almost makes me feel like the Tower of Babel when everything got destroyed and people had to come and they were in this one area and they couldn't understand each other. They couldn't speak each other's language. It was like, I don't know, that just jumped in my head, for some reason. But at the bottom of the deck, I just noticed this from the cards, but I got Council of Light. And there's all these different religious figures.
That was almost like, that had the feeling of who these people were. You notice all the religious, the spiritual artifacts that they had within their caving system, which apparently was the central citadel for all the rooms converging to it, gave way to their spiritual event, their philosophy, and who they were while they were here. And I think the tears that I showed before in the very beginning of their journey was for that time when they had to leave. And I think, Heather, you're picking up on the Tower of Babel because when they all had to go to all these different places, they didn't all just go here. They went all over the place.
Yeah.
It was like a Tower of Babel because they weren't speaking those languages and they had to go.
Yeah, they had to survive. They had to learn.
Yes, they had to survive. Yes, they had to.
So are you ladies picking up that this was after the flood that's in all spirituality? I was just going to throw a few cards to see if it had anything to do with if this was prior or after the flood, but I'm thinking it was after because of all those tears. I'm just wondering
if it was after. What my intuition tells me, it was after the flood. The whole thing happened, and that's where the tears came from, and that's why they had to make the change. And I think the magician was there during that because that's how they got to where they were.
Yeah, they had to recreate.
They didn't walk.
Yeah. They had to recreate a whole civilization. They had to rebuild, their life. I'm just gonna. Oh wow, the first card, love.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Having to learn how to.
Beautiful card.
Strength.
Oh wow.
I always pull 3, and oh my goodness, you're not going to believe this.
What's that?
Priestess of Water.
There it is.
So it was after the flood.
Yeah, it was after the flood.
Yep.
That's what I picked up.
And at the bottom it says congratulations. It's a success card, so
wow,
it's answering, the question, right there for that.
I got 1 yes and 2 maybe cards of it being before or after the flood. But I started out with the Knight of Cups, which he's just kind of hanging, He's not in any real big hurry to get anywhere. He's just kind of chilling with his cup in his hand. And then I pulled the Queen of Swords, which again, I mean, we're looking at somebody who's, it's an authority, but according to what the card says, it's an unbiased judgment. So that tells me that when the flood happened, it wasn't because of what anyone did or didn't do. That was just a natural occurrence. Who knows what may have caused it? Scientists are still trying to figure that out. I mean, the Bible gives you a really cool way of just wrapping it all up in God.
Nice little,
but I'm sorry, I want scientific information on this. And then I had a card literally jump out of the deck on me. And when it jumped out reversed. Now I don't read reversed cards. Or rarely will I read them reversed. But this one jumped out reversed. And it's the High Priestess. Again, secrets, harm, hidden agenda. So, I mean, we're looking at that kind of goes along with what isn't being allowed to be told us.
Well, so
And to me, that's just, I mean, and it's the high priestess, which we all read through that, right?
Hmm.
And
I mean, we're all getting pillars. We're
yeah,
all getting stargates. Like even Warrior Girl and Dina were mentioning portal stargates.
when you mentioned flooding, I didn't think in the Bible of the Noah's Ark flood. My mind went to Atlantis and the sinking of Atlantis and the water there. And
yeah,
I feel that they came, that's where they were, and they came from there to there. So they'd be Palladians, they'd be whoever else was there seeding Atlantis.
right.
I know the Palladians were there for Lemuria. I don't know about Atlantis, but that I believe they came from there directly to Arizona. One group. I mean, other people probably, all other beings went other places, but some of
Lemuria
them,
was in the Pacific Ocean. That was
yeah,
that whole continent too. So you probably had peoples because being right there, the Southwest. That was at one point you can almost they said you can actually put the continents together at some point and they
true.
neatly fit.
Yeah,
If they were that close, they could just
correct.
Lemuria crossed right over and been a part already of that civilization, and that might have been kind of. Now this is going to sound weird, but this is the kind of you know um, what do you call that? Not metaphor, but the analogy.
Mhm,
That was good. Like when you go to Mos Eisley Spaceport or Star Wars Mos Eisley, you had everybody coming from different areas of the planet, from the different star systems,
mhm.
and that's where they congregated to do their trade, to share, goods and everything. That was almost kind of like, almost maybe became like a beacon. Like it was a civilization where people could go after catastrophes, kind of like refugees. I know it sounds really weird, but that's kind of the weird scenario I'm getting in my head that,
Mhm.
this was the place to go when this disaster or multiple
It
disasters
probably
hit.
was because I mean they knew it was there. They had high tech technology. They probably knew of the cave system or knew where they could go and build that cave system when they were already on Atlantis. So yeah, they they and not just them, but like you said, all over. It might have been just a known place where you could go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Well, and
possible.
I know there's a couple of channels that I watch that are put out by Native American medicine men and chiefs that discuss like their culture, their clan, what they teach and whatnot.
Mhm,
To touch back on the Hopi prophecy, I
mhm,
watched a couple of videos on that where they were very clear about
Hmm.
what they believe and how they explain things of how stuff happened. Fits very neatly in with Atlantis and what could have been the flood that took out Atlantis, and at
mhm,
the same time could have been the flood like mentioned in the Bible. But every culture in the world has
That flood
a flood history
a flood
that
scenario.
area. The
that
mythology.
everything got reset after this flood.
Yeah.
Right.
You
You just
know,
get the chills. So yeah.
Now for me, I feel like Kincaid and Jordan were real individuals, but I still want to throw, a couple cards because Smithsonian is denying that they, existed, that they're not real, that this is a story. And then after that, I want to ask if, because they said that AJ said that they just disappeared after, that art. I mean, the article appeared in the Arizona Gazette or Sun Gazette, whichever it was at the time in 1908. There was an actual physical article that was written about this discovery,
yeah.
and they really must have had to have spun some sort of well, what do you call that today? um
Red flag for the government to come and take over.
yeah, well, kind,
Girl,
fake news, kind of like, don't read this, that's fake news, kind of
Oh
thing.
yeah.
Just enough, spinning enough, doubt, theories up to cause doubt, and like, okay, yeah, this is probably nothing, and just to let it, fall
Why
into
is it?
history and people not,
It's so coincidental that he ended up disappearing.
I know,
Hello,
I'm going to ask
hello.
if the government had something to do with that.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's either sitting in a cell somewhere
Oh no, he would be
down.
long gone
he's
by now.
he's
This was
long gone.
Yeah,
1908.
but I mean, he would have. He was probably
Um,
sitting in a cell somewhere, saying I should have kept my big mouth shut,
or
Gaslighting, yes,
he,
thank
or
you.
or
they just let him go on his merry way before
yeah,
he was ready to go on his merry way.
And like Dina
exactly.
said here too, finding Viking camps and in not Nebraska, in New Brunswick and everything. That they're saying that Columbus was, no, he wasn't. You know, there were people that were much
They
more
found
braver and
they
much more.
found
Even in Rhode Island, I saw something that was very striking as Viking built.
well, and they
So
have found artifacts and whatnot, even down here in the South,
I think
especially near the Mississippi River, because that another big river, that practically splits the country in two. You know,
Mhm.
um, so whatever was going on upstream had to come downstream, and
Mhm.
so I mean it could be, but I know that they have found things down here that made no sense for
Yeah,
it to be down here as compared to when they think this area was even habitable for people to come and live, And
yeah, yeah. When I
yeah, I
asked
come
if
from Scots, Irish, English, Dutch people,
yeah,
French.
and this was a
So
point too, Dina, that they AJ made in the video, is that the Smithsonian, the government, are trying to make a connection, saying, well, it was called isolation, that multiple civilizations only existed without knowing other ones existed. I mean, it's I can't remember what the official word it was that they used, but it had to do with isolation. And they're like, how is that possible when you, because they're saying, well, the Aztec and the Mayan couldn't have come up this way into, North America or whatever because of, you know, the waters but it's like, wait a minute, how's that possible? Because like Shawum is in Mississippi. That cuts right down the Americas. So you have, the civilizations, the mound builders, in Ohio, the ones that the Cherokee, all those people that live on the Mississippi. And you mean to tell me that all these civilizations were isolated from each other, and yet they had these land masses where they could easily navigate water, they could easily, so it's just really feeding us a bunch of BS. It
right.
really is. And that
Yeah.
was the point that AJ made, that I want to point out with Dina, with the Mississippi River. um Cahokia, yes. I couldn't think of the one name of it. Thank you. um I'm a okay, sister. So just making sure I didn't miss anybody adding anything or asking any questions. And if anybody has any questions that we may not be thinking about asking um, about this, please, let us know. Oh, hello, Aries girl, which is Allison. Hello, sweetheart. Thank you for popping in. Oh, Jules, I didn't know she's Norwegian Native American. Very
Mm.
cool, Jules.
like
So,
I said, I have a great aunt that spent over 50 years tracing our family lines back to the 1300s,
Mm.
which is pretty damn impressive when you stop
yeah,
and think about
It
it.
I went
really
as far as
is.
Um,
15. Yeah.
It's a long time.
uh, so we know that we're Scots, we're Welsh, we're Irish, we're English, we're French, we're Dutch, and then the more current generations are part Cherokee. That's what we've been told. Now, I keep saying I'm gonna do one of those 1, 2, 3 DNA test things,
Yep, that's how I found out mine. Yeah.
but I keep putting it off.
So Val, did you have any cards that you pulled, or Sherry, on
You, I
the
did
Kincaid?
pull him and I'm looking at him, but I can't remember what our question
Oh,
was. So
I asked if
Thank you. Me
what
either.
if Kincaid was Kincaid and Professor Jordan were factual. That these were individuals who found it, claimed, that they were actual people, because the government's trying to spin around that no people
Okay.
existed. That this isn't true. So, um, let me know who
I,
wants to go first, and I'll put you to big on
I
the big
don't
screen.
think that was what I read on though, but I mean, because
I
I,
got yes that they were
oh,
real.
I'm sure they were
I got great
real.
big love. So for me, that's a big
Was there
yes.
was there a question before that we were asking about the beings that came? Because my questions were related to the
Okay.
beings
Well,
coming
whatever you got.
to the mountains. It was a plan. They knew where to
Mm-hmm.
go, and that they had a completion where they were, and
Oh, I'm sorry,
they
Val.
they came from the island. They had a completion.
Yes,
They came from the island with almost nothing.
naked
But,
man, just with the skin
uh,
on their backs.
but then again, they had a 10 of Pentacles, but a rainbow and waterfall. So they had water, they had the sunshine, and you know they were again going to have to leave at some point, but not after a long time. But as to whether or not those people were actual real people, the explorer who posted the article in the Arizona Gazette in 1903, absolutely 100%. And just because the Smithsonian pretends like it doesn't have information doesn't
It's
make
the
it so. I mean,
yeah.
I believe that they were, explorers who explored. And it's one of those things where the government loses paperwork, like Lou Elizondo, his employment for the Pentagon.
Maybe
Suddenly
they ate it. Maybe they
they
flushed it
ate
down
it.
their toilet.
But then Harry Reid, Senator Harry Reid of Nevada, said, "Oh no, he worked for me for that ATIP or whatever it was." So it happens all the time.
Yeah.
There
Well,
you
I
go.
pulled the King of Pentacles, which is a yes card. You're looking at wealth, leadership, business like. So I feel like a lot of what's driving a lot of it was
Mm-hmm.
business and money.
Yeah.
Just like today, a lot of what drives everything that happens is money. Who has who has the biggest, thickest wallet?
Exactly. The Vatican.
Yeah, well, that too. But then you're not learning your life lessons. So maybe
I like
we're
that. You're pointing at you.
maybe part of why we're not being told everything yet is because we haven't learned what we need to learn in order to deal with it.
Yeah.
That's
In
true.
fact, we've been going backwards for the last 10 or 15 years,
Probably
which
so.
is really depressing.
What I also got was when I asked about if the government had anything to do with their disappearance, I got the summons card. So I felt
Oh,
like they were summoned. And then the next card I got was forbidden. And there's the doors. They were either locked up or they
yeah.
were threatened with being locked up if they were, I kept getting weird cards when I asked if the government, and YouTube, this is for entertainment purposes only, if, the government or members of the Smithsonian um, decided
We're just
to
some old ladies talking out our butts.
decided to
We don't know anything.
take them out to end their lives, you know. But I was getting weird cards with that, and one of them was the nine of wands. So
I figure if I can convince them we're all just old, crazy old ladies, that we won't have to worry about it.
yeah, exactly, moving backwards. Yeah, it's just the same old song and dance. Oh my God. Yes, I'm glad I popped on that too, because people say if you really think about it, the ending of
Mhm.
Raiders of the Ark, and this is what George Lucas was so in touch
There's
with what was really
the
going on.
warehouse.
That huge
Yeah.
warehouse. That's exactly where all these things are going.
And
they're
back when that movie came out and I first saw it at the theater,
it
not
was real.
knowing any of this stuff, not knowing or being able to tie in anything, but it was like when that scene happened at the end of the movie, deep inside of me, it was like, oh, yes,
You knew it existed.
that's reality.
That's what I
That's
said.
an actual thing, you know.
Yep. The place where they keep all the artifacts they don't want us to see.
Ooh, that's an interesting card. I keep asking if the government had anything to do with if they it had anything to do with a permanent disappearance, whether or not they were murdered to keep quiet. And I keep getting these weird cards, and I just got justice. So for
Oh,
me, I don't see how that would be justice for them. It's kind of odd. The Chariot, and then the Nine of Cups.
maybe eventually there will be justice for them as some of this information.
Starts to come out more, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
And maybe the area is not restricted anymore and people can go in there again. Maybe the government, once they tell us about the things they're hiding.
I don't know. Whatever is in there must be a really big deal because, first of all, that part of the Grand Canyon is a no-fly zone at all because it is treacherous.
Correct.
And so when anybody anywhere, whether they're on top trying to take a look down anywhere near, because they read their notes of where, he spotted, the change and that's another thing that caught my attention when they said the change in the sediment, the color is what caught his attention. Because when they study geology, they can tell when there were certain types of vegetation disasters that took place. And they said there was a very dark um, um, line or ridge that caught his attention that made him pull up and then discovered the steps and everything that led up there. So I'm wondering if that dark was either left over from that area being fertile soil from where they were able to plant and harvest and have because I mean, Africa was once, a jungle rainforest like the Amazon. So why not, Arizona as well in those different areas back then? So they never really got into, or AJ did with the video on what they did with the rock study there, unless they couldn't get to it, and we have no idea. But there was a change in color, so it was either something, you know, catastrophic that left that dark line, possibly from flooding water, or if there had been a meteor, because not far from there, people don't realize, has anyone ever seen Starman? That they went and they filmed at that huge crater. That's real. That's up in Arizona. I've been there. So there was a meteor crater there.
Yeah, I've been to that meteor crater.
So that could have also possibly played. I mean, that whole area right there with the change of geology from the meteor, from the glacials moving, the floods. That could have just become like everyone's like, where do we go? Like in Lord of the Rings, where do we go? We're going to go to, I can't think of the name of the city in the rock that they thought everybody would be safe in. It's like that kind of mentality. Where can we go to get the people, the women, the children safe? And for a lot of people, civilizations, they knew that was, the place to pick up and go to.
Yeah, that probably was true. And I asked about them, what happened to the guys, the explorers, and I got the maze and I got the flower, and the last two alarming ones, a knife and a gun.
Wow.
So it doesn't look good for how they ended their earthly incarnation.
Yeah. That's weird that I cannot, it just the cars kept going around it, saying that,
my Dick character is direct.
I'm wondering about that deck, that deck has been so accurate, and there's 111 cards, and to get those certain cards.
That's what I'm saying, to get those certain cards out of this deck.
You couldn't do it if you tried.
No.
And look what came out again.
That's what I'm telling you. They are going to get justice. That's what I'm
And then
telling
look
you.
at this, Six of Swords. There we go.
That's
There's
why
the
we're
answer.
talking about it now.
They
Yes.
transitioned.
They transitioned. That's why I got the flower. And
King
yeah,
of Swords. Yeah,
they're going to get justice. It's coming out now. And
pretty soon.
eventually, and maybe a couple of more years.
You had the Six of Swords you pulled, Heather?
The King of Swords, Six of Swords came out with the Justice, and then I got the King of Swords. So for me, King of Swords is very government. It's very, this is
Six
what
of
we're.
Swords.
Oh,
Wow.
and
That's what I just drew.
I just got this fell out. A door
And
is
and look at the door too.
All about, yeah.
a door is
Followed by the Ten of Swords.
Oh,
Stabbed in the back.
oh
yeah.
gosh. Oh gosh.
So whatever they discovered in there must have been so.
Life changing. There's the devil.
The devil.
I got the devil too. So yeah.
Kala Lizzie had a question. There have been pole switches. And do we want to read to see? I think what you might be asking is if the pole switches might have had something to do with why they went there. That could have
Yeah, there's been a pole shift on this planet, but it was like millions of years ago when it happened.
But we're due for one, though.
But yeah, and there have been a lot of scientific conclusions of certain research projects that are ongoing that we're headed for another one. I mean, the last really big earthquake that we got here on the East Coast, which was practically unheard of, was back in I don't remember if it was the 1800s or the early 1900s, but the earthquake hit the Mississippi River. It was like in the Madrid area there in St. Louis and all that area. And it literally caused the Mississippi to flow backwards.
Oh gosh, scary.
It literally went uphill before
it shows you how plates and stuff move underneath. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're saying that the one in California, I can't remember what town it was, but they said it was like the worst in history. They said that there were like over 1,000 people had died. Everything was leveled. The earthquake that was. I'm trying to remember. There's so many towns in California, but this was going back to like the turn of the century. And they said that kind of an earthquake can affect people from even 1,000 miles away because of that strong shaking and vibration. It just basically turns the land, anything hard, it turns into like a liquid. It moves like water.
It's called liquefaction.
Liquefaction.
Yep.
Thank you, my dear.
You're probably talking about the Loma Prieta quake that was felt all the way from like the San Andreas fault all the way to San Francisco, and it crumbled freeways. Cars were trapped underneath. It crumbled.
Is that the one that happened in the 80s or the 90s?
Yeah, the 80s, and the big bridge fell.
I remember that.
Cars fell.
We were watching because it was game one of the World Series.
Yes,
was just starting, and that's why there was hardly no one on the bridges.
I was listening
on the roads because everybody was either at the stadium watching the game live or they were already home watching it on TV.
Listening to the game on the radio, and I was driving across a bridge, and there the quake started. I'm driving on this bridge.
Oh my God!
I thought, do I have 4 flat tires? What's wrong with my car? Because it's like the tires weren't touching the road.
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh God, don't let this be the big one. Let me get off." And luckily I was able to get across the bridge. But
I just remember us watching because my husband was like baseball fanatic times a million, And so we were all set up, ready for the game to start, and the announcers are yakety yakety yakking, and all of a sudden you see the camera do this number and goes dark.
And I
There's like
was
no picture on the screen. And before either one of us could say what the hell happened, we could hear some of the broadcasters talking to each other saying, "Oh, I think we're having an earthquake," and the other one's like, "Get out now!" And that's all we knew. It was like
that was at the old Candlestick Stadium out there by the airport.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
that was back in
So
the
I
day.
the
asked about
stadium that the Beatles sold out.
Yes.
So for
Yeah.
Kala Lizzie's question, it's interesting. I got Vision, which has the moon in it, and I also have Priestess of Fire, which also feels very sun. So to me, they're opposites. So it may have had something to do with a pole weather at that time, but those poles did affect people, forcing them to have to move. So those two just came right up, right next to each other, and then I got message, and it comes flying in on spirits. So um, it is definitely a message. And I was also thinking when I was shuffling was that um, the Hopi prophecy states that there are like four different worlds that we're living in, that or we have lived in, and if we're not careful, there's going to be the final one that we're in now with something to do with a blue star, and they're trying to figure out if that's a comet, a meteorite, if that could represent another world war. But I was thinking that, but when you look at between the it's kind of hard to see it, but
Mm-hmm.
the ball is blue
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's coming in
Mm.
on the hawk or the raven's wings, and it says message at the end of the card.
Oh.
So whatever was in, also possibly in that citadel, could even possibly been like the Alexandrian library, a library of information too, that people don't want history you know to tap into that. So there may be even information in there that they were picking up on, that
Mhm.
they didn't, the Smithsonian didn't want to get out, but it remains in the stories and the mythologies of the Hopi people and the surrounding indigenous tribes there.
I did get the same. I did get that there was some minor or some kind of pulse shift around the
Mhm.
time, and they caused the tears, and they had to go out on the open road and make a change,
Mm-hmm.
and
The keys in
they
our hands.
they a key maybe to their vehicle.
Woo.
Their keys are
Scotty
their
beating us
hands.
up.
They probably don't
Yeah.
need a key, but they had the tools, they had the key, the ability to go to a new place. But yeah, I think there was some kind of earth change caused by the slight pole shift. They don't have to shift 100% like they're shifting now a little
Even a
bit.
couple different degrees can throw off
Yes,
a whole.
exactly.
I mean,
Right.
it doesn't have to be in with the
No.
pole caps melting
Yeah,
and moving. That release is
exactly.
pulling everything down now, and that's being, just think of it going boing, boing, and that bounce of that lift.
Yeah,
That's really, yeah.
right.
Everything is all interconnected.
It is. It is.
Thank you, Patricia. That was mentioned during that video that Sherry sent me through the History Channel.
Yeah.
I could think and remember the name of it. Life Out of Balance.
And here's the thing about the Hopis and the Navajo. They've always passed the stories on about I don't think they call them space brothers, but the space people.
The Kachinas. They're
Yeah.
Kachina spirits. They're very sacred to them,
Isn't
yeah.
Kachina kitchen? Doesn't
No,
Kachina?
Kachina, I don't know, but Kachinas are sacred spiritual beings that are connected with the Navajo, the Hopi, and with the Zuni. I have a Navajo Zuni friend that lives in Arizona up in Flagstaff, and he's put me in my place quite a few times in how I approach and I talk about the Kachinas and how they need reverence and stuff. So for them, they're their ancestors, their spirit people, the beings that that from whom they come from and stuff. So
I'm just going to call them Space Brothers because they call them a lot of different things with reverence. Absolutely. Well, the native
Hello, Heather.
um, Americans are the Navajo and the Hopi are extremely respectful of every living thing and the earth. So, no matter what, it's definitely.
I didn't realize until I moved there how many different native people are in there. You have the Havasupai, you have the
Oh,
Yakuma,
yeah.
you have the Apache. I mean, there is a
The
lot of
Comanche, the Sioux, the
that's. I thought that
Sioux's
was
a
more
little bit more
Midwestern. It's more
Midwest.
Midwestern, yeah.
Yeah.
But this down in the Southwest are the Pueblo people, and so the Laguna, the
So,
Havasupai. Yeah, but
and
look at that. Look what I just got though.
oh my gosh, there you are. The energy's right here, right now.
Beyond the ordinary.
Yeah. And
Yep.
I just got the definition of Kachina, a deified ancestral spirit in the mythology of the Pueblo people. A person who represents a Kachina spirit in ceremonial dances or a small carved figure. Well, I always knew about the
I
Kachina
have two
dolls.
Kachinas. I have two
Yeah,
that are about this tall. I mean,
right.
they're fairly big. They're made out of clay. I bought them down in Mexico.
Yeah.
And they're like outdoor, hang on your wall outside or something. They're outdoor decorations.
Well, you
They're
can
packed in a box right now, but
you can actually go through to the Hopi Reservation in Arizona alongside the freeways. They have different stores, and they have beautiful depicted Kachina dolls for the wolf spirit, for all kinds of different things.
Eagle
And
spirit.
they're
Eagle spirit's my
they're
favorite.
wooden with clothes on, and they're gorgeous. Oh my
go
God.
drive on any of the highways or interstates in Arizona. All of the overpasses and along the walls on sections that have walls built up,
Mhm.
they all have decorations and stuff with the bricks and whatnot that they made it with. It's
Wow,
absolutely gorgeous.
that's
Let me
awesome.
see to the dog. I'll be right back. Hang on.
Okay. So anyway, when the Hopi have their prophecy, of course, and every so often I get it out and I listen to the Hopi prophecy because they're saying, we're the ones who have to save us.
Yeah, we have to save
We are the
ourselves.
ones. We're the ones we've been waiting for. And we've heard this said a million different ways by other people, but the Hopi actually said it in their prophecy.
A lot of them do. Like a lot of the native tribes connect with the Pleiades.
Absolutely.
And I do believe, and I'm always very respectful of Kachina because because my friend Kyle, he had to grow up learning how when the white man came and the Spaniards and stuff came and they just disregarded and disrespected their sacred mass. Things were stolen, taken to museums. Um, to them, that was just such an offense.
They were
I mean,
so in
it's
touch
very painful,
spiritually, right?
and
Very painful.
he gets very angry, when I bring certain things up, and that's why I'm always very careful in how I speak about
Right.
Kachina spirit
Well,
and native
that's
spirits.
the ancestral spirit. It's the Kachina spirit.
Yeah.
So that's the ancestral spirit. And
I
they
have
probably believe that um, the ones that came were ancestors, and they probably are ancestors, and they're probably all of our ancestors. So yeah.
well, I know I'm supposedly come from Cherokee blood, so it's not out there with the Hopi, but it's still Native American. I had and I know I've shared the picture before. When I lived in Arizona, there was one of the reservations that I lived next to. That's where they had a cigarette store, like just over the line.
Mm-hmm.
And so we would go there to buy cigarettes because it was a lot cheaper than to buy them in town.
Mhm.
And my mom and I made friends with, the people that ran the little store. And one year they were giving away calendars to their regular customers. And all of the pictures in the calendar was from the local tribes, their artwork.
Oh.
And one of the pictures was, I don't know if I still have it on my phone or not. One of the pictures was, it's just the most unique picture I've ever seen in my life. But the second I saw it, it literally like grabbed me by the throat. And I heard in my head, I heard a voice say, "We are your guides."
Ooh.
I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know what that was.
Oh man.
I didn't understand it. It was before I even went down this path.
Wow, Shari.
And it was literally, it was like, you know,
She got the message loud and clear.
I couldn't let go of the picture. I mean, here we go. And hopefully y'all can see this on the camera.
Good spotlighter so we can see.
Oh, how beautiful.
But when you're looking at, my mother had it matted and framed for me. And let's see if I can bring it in a little closer.
Yeah, it looks like a spirit.
But it looks like several spirit chiefs.
Yeah.
And if you stand in front of the actual picture and look at it, you can actually see other faces and forms inside the windswept part. I know I showed this one night, and one of the chat was like, "Wow, you've got a dragon in there." And I had to go back and look again because I never saw the dragon. She saw it. I collect dragons.
Oh wow! Hello.
So you know, as well as turtles.
Ding.
Oh,
Yeah. So, but you can see horses. You can see a dragon. You can see the chiefs. It just, and it looks like they're going forward as the wind's sweeping them back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it gives you that very kind of ghostly feeling. And for whatever reason, that picture just
that was it.
Grabbed me, and it was, and like I said, I literally heard it in my head. "We are your guides." I didn't know what it meant. I didn't know what it was.
Very
I was
cool.
just like, okay,
fine.
Amazing.
I love that.
So when Shari was telling her story,
Mm-hmm.
not telling, she loves to share. She's a storyteller. I asked.
Sorry, I have diarrhea of the mouth.
It wasn't a derogatory.
We love your stories.
It was just you're a natural storyteller. And Cherokee people, a lot of like Tori Amos, the singer, her grandfather was a storyteller. So he passed that down to her. So with her music and how she'd sing her songs and told her stories about her life, she took that gift from him in that way. So it's expressed all in different beautiful ways. And when you were sharing, I was asking if we would ever come to know what was in the canyon. And again, I got the call of the muse. So it's out there. It's being called forward. And I know it's going to be brought through because then I have shining through. So it's going to be bursting out. It's going to be blossoming. And
what was the question you asked?
If we were ever going to find out what was in that citadel, if we would be released at some point, the knowledge of what the civilizations were and what that contained. And the last card again for all of us.
Key. You got my key.
Opening to discovery. There's the keyhole. And look it's the desert here.
Oh my God.
There's the key into and look at I kid you not, it looks like there's a canyon in there.
That's it. There's a canyon there.
And then with the stars. So it's going to show that the key to the desert and everything that's
there it is. Now I know what the key was for.
I'm getting a big yes on it.
Whether it'll be our lifetime, I don't know. It would be nice.
It would be nice, wouldn't it?
But when I was asking my pendulum earlier if there was Tibetan civilization influenced people there, my pendulum told me yes. I asked Egyptian, it said yes. And I said, how about others, that were from the areas? Question. And it said yes. So it was a multiple civilization.
Can we ask if it was the Anunnaki? If there were any Anunnaki? Because the Egyptian culture that was there in Egypt at the time, for instance,
Yeah.
were supposedly Anunnaki or
There's
descendant
a
of Anunnaki.
people like the Anunnaki. People don't like. I guess there were good
I
Anunnaki and bad and
I
like good
realize
humans and
I
bad humans.
realize people have feelings about it, but I just want to read on it
Sure.
without
So
any
what's the
feeling.
specific question then, so I can ask it right?
Were there
Yeah.
Anunnaki as part of the group that were
Gotcha.
residing in Arizona, Grand Canyon?
Okay. Let me grab my. I wasn't even going to really use these cards tonight, but the Seven Energies by Colette Baron Reed. I love her deck, so I think I'm going to use those for this one. I also have
Oh,
the Star Seed too. I
this
have too
fell
many.
out. The volt.
Devotee. Oh,
It fell
okay.
out. Okay, let me see what I got here.
So, were the Anunnaki a part of the civilizations that lived at
Oh,
the Grand Canyon?
I'm getting the chills. You
Here's
know,
Allison. It was a rainforest, and there was a river that ran
oh,
right across it. Oh,
oh,
Africa. But yeah, there were multiple rivers.
oh my
I
goodness.
started out with 2 yes cards, the Knight
Woo!
and Queen of Wands.
Yeah, I got some yes too. Yeah,
Both of them wands, the Knight and the Queen.
yes.
And they're both yes cards. And then the last card I drew was a no card, but I think it was because of maybe how their association ended.
Yeah, something like
Because
that.
I drew the ten of the
Mm-hmm.
10 of swords.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah, because I
um,
got something similar to you, Sherry. Very interesting.
Here, let me put that back up for you. Go ahead.
I got the devotee, and oddly enough, Sherry, a dragon.
oh wow.
So
Out of
the
111
devotee,
cards.
the dragon, in the womb. So I feel like they were ancestral, and there was a broken relationship, brokenhearted,
Hmm.
and that's kind of what I get from that.
Yeah,
So
that goes along with this.
yeah, it goes
With that
along with that
with that 10 of swords.
10 of swords. Exactly.
Now, Valerie,
Yeah.
you know how you just had the broken card?
Yeah. Oh, they're all broken open. That's
And then
it.
get this
Because I got oh,
time machine.
it's like a portal or a time machine. They
Yep.
just went in and
I
out.
was just thinking the word portal when she held that card up.
They dialed it
And
up.
then spirit of gratitude.
There it
So,
is. And that lotus, that sort of spirit of gratitude goes along with all
and
their
there was a lotus that they think was in one of the statues that was in the
yes.
citadel or in one of the rooms
Well,
representing that civilization.
exactly. We was sitting on a lotus flower, this Buddha statue, and yeah. Oh God, we're getting some. Ooh,
And when you got the fire
I'm
too,
getting
the
some
dragon,
shivers down my
I
spine.
know, me too. And yeah, when I got the dragon,
Oop, oh no, don't remove you. Hold on a
you
second.
know,
Just removed you.
but the
There we go.
dragon, what was the dragon?
The space. A lot of people said that they think when they describe something that, like a dragon, like with the Asian culture, they were actually thinking of and seeing a spaceship because it was
That's
loud,
it.
it roared,
Maybe
and it
so. There
burst
you
out
go.
flames.
So yeah,
Plus, dragons have always been, most cultures, they've always considered dragons as protectors.
and you know
Not so
what?
much as an enemy, but as a protector.
Not in a bad way, but let me just say something. We all have ties to dragons, and
Mm-hmm.
Sterling says there's no such thing as dragons. But all my life, I've always, always, always been somehow drawn to George the Dragon Slayer, not by slaying dragons, but dragons being part of our world.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah.
This is Marmaduke.
So
That
our
was his
dragons.
name, and I got him in Sedona.
Oh, that's gorgeous. I
He
love that.
accidentally got his little claw broken, but
I bought a dragon
he's got a little
in
blue.
Scottsdale when I lived in Phoenix.
Mhm.
And it's a dragon turtle.
Oh, nice.
And so it looks like a turtle, but it's got like the dragon head and the dragon tail.
I love that.
And
And
it's
it comes from the Buddhist
there.
beliefs. This dragon turtle, because it's supposed
Yeah.
to represent the
Mhm.
protector of the family, because the turtle represents family
And you know,
in a lot of cultures, especially Polynesian cultures.
I think what
Mhm.
Sterling was saying is he doesn't believe it, or his guides don't are saying there's no real dragons.
Oh my
But
goodness.
as I know, well,
Like there's no such thing as spells and there's no such thing as
I'm
demons and
trying
all
to
that good
say
stuff.
there are some things that
No,
other
they're demons. I've
I
seen
know
them.
I've
there's
experienced.
some things that people believe and that's their framework.
Mhm.
And there's some things other people believe and that's their framework.
Well, you saw that video that came out. I can't remember if it was recent or if it's been a few years, but someone said try to debunk this. Someone caught what looked like a dragon flying
Mhm.
through the air by mountaintops, and you could see what the size would have been compared to the mountains. And when someone tried to go through and say it was inserted into the video, they couldn't find anything. And they're saying, oh, that was just probably a bird. But when you look at this, when I saw this video, the hairs on the back, I mean, right now, the
It
hairs
stood
on
up,
what's
which
left of my hair on the back of my neck is
which
standing up.
means you detect truth.
You could see the weight, and I think it was a gift. I think that
Yeah,
was part of them coming through to our dimension to let
correct.
us know
That's
that
what it
yes, we are
is.
real and we are here.
They are from another space time, and that's why, like Sterling's guides and everything, for them they don't exist, but they do exist in
And
another.
perhaps, yeah, and that very well could be true. They don't exist here.
Exactly.
But
But
if
they
they don't exist here, where did it come from? Where did the pictures of them come from? Where did the
But they
stories
must have
of them
phased
come from?
in,
mhm.
Who would dream something like that up if they had no prior
Pterodactyls
knowledge
too.
because
or
big,
saw something like that?
just like Bigfoot phases in and out of our frequency
Hmm.
from another dimension. Same thing. I
My
think they
Shan
do.
saw Bigfoot when he was younger. He says that's very real. He was in
Yeah,
Washington camping.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, I've never seen Bigfoot. Don't think I want to, but I have a couple of friends who I believe completely wholeheartedly saw what they said they saw, and it flipped them out, you know. Um,
Ooh.
and it's like I can't argue with you. I mean, it's the same as the first time I said something to someone about, yeah, I believe in ghosts. I've seen them, and the response was, no, there's no such thing. They're not real. And I'm like, yeah, they are real. I've seen them.
Yeah.
I've lived in a haunted house. I've had to
Right.
deal with them.
I know. I was
Right.
attacked on the
I
regular
can
basis
tell
by
you
one.
firsthand that yes, they're real. And I could have argued with that person until the cows came home. It wouldn't have convinced them. But they just and of course the response kept coming back. Well, you seem like such a logical person. I don't know how you could believe that. I said, because I've experienced it. I
Yeah.
said, and
Me
once you
too.
see it, taste it, smell it, hear it, feel it, touch it, whatever, once you've experienced it, that's it. You can't go back on that and say, no, that doesn't exist when you know damn well it does because you've experienced it for yourself. And I
Exactly.
think with a lot of all of this is true for a lot of people. They don't believe in the woo woo, as
Hmm. Yep.
Colette Barron says. They don't believe in the woo. They don't believe in being able to read cards and know. It's like, but once you experience it, you can't then go back and say no, it's not real, because you know damn well it is real.
Exactly.
Um,
Exactly.
and
Jules just said, Wade Richards has a YouTube and is a local to my area. It's crazy. He has videos of elementals and Bigfoot evidence. Very cool.
yeah, well,
Great.
my friend Lon, I mean, he's practically based his entire life on researching and going out on hunts and whatnot to find Bigfoot.
Good
Because
night, Miss Tarot
good
D.
night,
Thank
Miss
you for
Tarot
being with
D.
us.
Love you,
Thank
my
you, Chris.
baby.
Yep. Love you, sweets.
Um, I mean, he's spent most of his life because of something he experienced as a child,
Mhm. True.
Mm.
and he's made it he's made an obsession into a passion, into a career for himself.
And
You know?
that's how you do it.
Yeah.
Do something you love, and there it is.
Yeah.
When we were talking about the dragons and people not believing this and that, I was shuffling and I was just like, oh, this is so interesting. The uncharted sea, our subconscious,
Oh,
smoke
that's
and mirrors, they say everything is.
Yeah.
There's a portal again.
Mhm.
But then you can connect with them, and this is by quieting the mind.
Absolutely. And through the dimensions and
it just comes
frequencies,
right
you can
through.
connect. Just like you connect with the heaven planes and whoever else, ascended masters and angels, you can connect with, your interdimensional dragons or whatever.
I didn't know there was a 26th dimension. I didn't know there was that many. Oh,
Yeah.
good Lord.
There's a lot.
Which is interesting.
I firmly believe that there are an infinity of dimensions.
I have
that
to say,
there is a multiple universes, dimensions, whatever.
Yeah.
I think that there's just so many different.
It would blow our minds.
Yeah,
just so weird
I
'cause
don't.
the
I
six-
just
whatever,
don't think
26
our
keeps coming
brains
up
are
to me.
capable of handling that kind of information.
Very true.
Yeah,
You know,
you would be able to.
you know, you
Lisa,
got people
Lisa
that
Rhodes wants to know what is the woo woo. Woo woo is just a term that people call New Age belief. That's like they're woo woo. They're out.
yeah, woo, yeah, it was meant as a derogatory term in the
But we
beginning.
turned it
Oh,
into
they're
the
doing that
positive
woo-woo stuff.
thing.
But a lot of those of us who believe in the woo decided to take it and make it our own, so that it's not a derogatory term, it's a term
More
of love.
wheels. Yeah,
And
as you're saying that, it's more wheels. Wheels are turning. Minds are changing. People are
Yeah.
coming around. And there's like the portal again and the star. It was like, what were we
Those
reading?
cards are on
It's
fire.
interesting how it starts from one, it goes into another, but spirit takes us where we're supposed to go.
That's right. Exactly. So
It is 9:36, or 9:37, excuse me. Are there any last minute questions that we want? Oh, what's that? Oh, the
ancestors.
Oh, let me pull you on. That's a
The
beautiful card. I
ancestors.
love that from the deck.
That's gorgeous.
Ancestors.
Gorgeous.
Remembrance.
Yeah, there it is.
That's from the Witch's Wisdom.
Witch's Wisdom. I almost bought that deck. I'll have to go
It's
back.
a wonderful.
Oh, really?
I love this deck.
Too.
The artwork is phenomenal. The colors, the color saturation in the pictures are just absolutely.
One of
Look,
my favorites is the
show something and
candles.
look what popped out. The chalice fulfillment.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Oh,
And it also represents the
gorgeous.
goddess, the female energy. Yep.
Gorgeous, gorgeous cards. What ones have you been using, Heather?
Whichever ones tell me to grab them. The ones I have now are the Thelema tarot. There's two decks using the same models and type of artwork. It was an Arcanum and the Thelema. I saw Scott Allen using them once, and I got both decks. I'm like, I'll just switch out cards. I like this picture better for this one, so it's kind of like a amalgamation of the both of them. But I've been using Colette Baron Reed's Wisdom of Night. Let me just put this up here really quick. Wisdom of Night Oracle.
Wisdom of Night.
Her mailing list, her newsletter mailing list. I'm always
Absolutely
getting stuff.
Beautiful images.
Those are gorgeous. Okay.
And let's see. I also been using Colette's Oracle of the Seven Energies, and I used a couple of the Rebecca Campbell ones. But it's just whichever one is like, okay, grab here, grab there,
Well, I've been using the Eternal Seekers Oracle deck, and of course Scott's ET Oracle deck that he made, and my Moonology deck, and then just my Rider-Waite Tarot deck.
Sherry, the one that something Seekers. What was that one?
Oh, Eternal Seeker Oracle by Pamela Steele, Steele.
Okay, thank you.
I actually won that deck from Allie from Heart and Soul
Oh,
Connected.
is that right?
When I first noticed people using an oracle deck, and it just became very,
Yeah, same thing for me.
very obvious in my brain.
Mhm.
That's what I'm supposed to be
That's
using
gorgeous.
was oracle decks. And so I started looking online to buy some, and it was like, God, there were so many to pick from. Which one do you go with? And right about that time, Allie was doing a giveaway on her channel,
Mhm.
and she was drawing 2 winners, one for an oracle deck and one for a tarot deck. I won the oracle deck.
Woohoo!
So that was my first oracle deck was from Allie, and it just, I literally physically felt the charge when I opened the box.
Oh, really?
I took them out and held them in my hand. It was like,
That's like getting your wand at
that's next on my list. I want a wand.
This,
I've been
also
thinking
think
about
it's
making a
beautiful.
trip over to the park or something, maybe, and
Oh,
see if I can't find a good stick that I can sand down and turn into a wand. Something that's directly from nature. You know, I keep, what I need to do is talk to spirit and say, okay, I'm going walking to find my wand.
Mhm.
And
Let
they
me
call to you. Mm-hmm.
let
Exactly.
me find it, you know. So, but yeah, I've been lately very strongly hearing get a wand.
Yeah, and you know, I could just see it in my mind's eye. I see you getting it, and I see it in your hands. So,
Cool. So, and when I first started getting that to do a wand, and I was looking at like crystal ones and chakra ones and all,
but yours is from a tree.
I kept coming back to wood. Nope.
It is wood. It's
need,
from a tree branch. I
yeah.
see it, and it's got a little towards the handle, towards where you would hold it. It's got a little, you know, one of those little.
Kind of loops.
No,
Not.
yes, thank you. I couldn't think of the
I have to
knot
think
word.
about making this into a wand at some point.
That would make a good one.
It would. Wow.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I just got to get out there and
for you and some meat for you.
Yeah, the vision came, and I saw a bunch of light around your hand and around the wand, and it was from a tree.
That's beautiful. There's a card in there too. Is it the wand or the athame? The athame is the blade, but there is one in the Witch's Oracle that Witch's Wisdom Oracle that Shari has that has a hand holding out a wand with the light coming out of it. So
Yeah, it's just pretty amazing.
I just drew the witch's hattie.
Huh,
I'm just
hi,
I'm just
Kristen.
flipping through and pulling.
that's cute.
Oh, Kristen Louise, while you're here, I have to share this with her because she's Norse. Looky what I got. And oh my God, Kristen, this is delicious. It's called Freya's Passion, and it's strawberries with a subtle hint of vanilla, and it finishes with a full creamy taste. And it's based on it's in dedication to Freya, the Norse goddess of war, death, and wealth. I wanted to share that. It's like, oh, it is delicious.
This is the wand.
Yep. The energy going over
Oh,
the.
that is gorgeous.
Hi, Ivana.
Beautiful card.
Hey, Ivana. She was just on. We finally got our schedules to mesh, and we did a show together the other day.
So do we
We
want to
sat
do
and
a
giggled like
collective? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, finish, Shari.
we sat and giggled like
Oh
teenagers.
my God, I know. That's what I love about when I hang out with Val, Shari, and Ivana. We just laugh. And Tangi, we just laugh. I love laughing. It's not like cards. You know.
Well, we need it.
Gotta have some laughs. Get it in there.
There's so much heaviness in the
It
world
is.
right now. It's like when we did our thingy the other night and we had a troll come in
Oh my God.
trying to say that, oh, you're
We're imposters. You know.
yeah, you're an imposter,
Fake, like, they wanna
you
report
false
us.
advertising, or I'm gonna report you. And I'm like, go for it, dude.
You know what I said, Val? I said, kiss my ass.
Thank you very much.
I had my hair. My hair was so good.
You're getting jaguar-y there. You're
I
getting
had some of that wow come out on me because
I said to YouTube, that's just me saying that these ladies, but it was like the last thing. It's like, dude, get out of my.
Yeah, Amy messaged me. Amy sent me a text the next day saying, "You weren't taking none of that shit."
Oh no!
I
Oh
said,
man,
"No, I wasn't," because
Heather's
the
got
whole goal of the show was to just
you
hang
know.
out and laugh and talk and
Yeah,
just.
you got
The
some of
hair
that
was the
wire hanging
last
out inside
straw.
of you.
It's like, you don't like my live stream? Fine. Click off and go watch somebody else.
So don't let the door
Yeah.
hit you on the way out.
Just like I had somebody else wrote in a chat when Mel was on and said something about, well, I tried watching your your show tonight, but you talk too much about yourself.
Well, it's your show.
And I'm like, well, yeah, I'm drawing on my experience. Duh.
If it wasn't your channel,
As long as the guest gets some equal time, it's her channel,
And I wasn't the
You
only
don't
one
like it,
talking
don't
about
watch
myself. Mel was talking about himself, so I mean,
as you should. There's
you
wisdom
know,
to share, and
because a lot of what we do and share is what we've experienced.
of course, and that's
To-
the beauty of everything.
You
And
know.
if they're not meant to be on the channel watching, they need to leave.
Yeah, that's what I just simply told them that, bye. Don't let the
All
door
right.
hit you with the good Lord split you. Y'all ain't never heard that one?
No, yeah.
That's a Southern saying.
Come here. You want to say hi? All righty. He had to make his appearance.
You never heard that, Silver Star? Yeah, that's an oldie but a goodie down here.
Here's the other one.
Oh, cute.
So you're going to put time with mommy for the collective? Huh? You're going to help us with the last one?
Man, those cats are pampered. Wow.
Oh, mine is spoiled rotten. Look, she's right over my shoulder here.
Zonked
in the bed.
Zonked out.
No, you're not going to get on the table because you always stick your butt.
The
right
dog
in
was on the
camera.
other side, but he started having an asthma attack, so he had to get up and go in the other room.
Aw.
And
all right. What deck should we use? Which deck should mommy use? You got to pick one out? He sometimes. I got to share this with everybody and Shari. But when we were talking about when Dolly did her live last night, I hadn't heard from him he'd been sleeping in the living room the whole day, and I'm just sitting there and I'm watching her. The minute she pulls out the silver bells to call Freya,
right over.
next thing I know, he's walking in like really slow. He usually just comes in, and he's looking at me and he's like, meow. And I'm like, oh, did you hear that? And he came up and he sat here and he sat for the whole thing and watched the rest of it with me.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Holy cow.
Whatever Dolly with the bells or her just out of nowhere, he came and wanted to be a part of the rest of the.
Wow, that is.
when Mark did my reading, Spirit Whisper, of course, the kitten was a lot smaller. We'd only had her about a month then. And we're on screen, we're talking to each other, and as he's starting to, get into, okay, let's go into the reading now, she jumps up and came and like lays right there on my chest and just watched every movie made. The whole time he was channeling Pan and talking to me.
Wow.
She was like all eyes forward to him.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. That's amazing.
I see him rubbing his face on your cards.
Yeah,
he's putting some of that energy on it.
Yeah. Are we done? Do we want to give him this one? Oh, I think the ladies will like this one. Okay, Mozzie says for everybody in the collective, or looks like we're all ladies here right now.
Ooh.
So, here, let me.
A little romance novel card.
Choices.
Just put a big red bow around him and ship him to my house.
Ladies, you're welcome. I prefer dark hair.
Little bit of beefcake.
Yeah, I'm more of a brunette myself. I don't go for blondes that much, but
except for Luke Skywalker. Okay, so we like to do.
It just makes me wonder if he cleans house.
Oh, look at this choices and then rigid.
Oh, Oh man!
Thank you, Mozzie.
Clean house and look like that.
Yeah, that's all I need him for is clean house.
Choices rigid. Let's see what the
Yeah.
next one is. Not as fun, but I'll just stick with those two for everybody.
Okay,
There we
we don't
go.
want any bad
Like
ones.
I said, put a big red bow around him and ship him to
Hey,
my
put in
house.
that card.
No, Vaughn, I already had dibs on that card.
Hot choices. Alrighty, so who would like to go next?
What are we doing?
Oh, it was the collective for everybody.
Okay.
And Mozzie chose it. I'm sorry. Did you say except for Luke Skywalker? When I was a young girl, yes. But no, growing up, everybody was always, a brunette for me. Ralph Macchio, Mark Slaughter. Rick Allen was a little bit on the brown blonde, but yeah, mostly the dark hair, the dark eyes always got me. Yep. Bye, Lisa. Have a good night. Yes, all my fellow peeps here on the East Coast, stay safe, stay warm. We're
It's always
supposed to
George
hit
Clooney
starting
for me.
tomorrow. So
Just something about him. I don't know what it is.
who?
George Clooney.
Oh,
Oh, I thought you were raped. Sorry. Like Heather, have another sip. I think I will. Yeah, Heather's in rare form tonight, so I apologize if my
I have
my
pulled
ring
this
is a little
card
off
so
color.
many times. Oh my gosh, I'm telling you. This is the individual epitomizes the universe. How many times am I going to pull this card today?
It says the
A million, not a
individual.
here. So basically,
Wow.
it is about, you are the universe is inside of you, and every cell of your body, everything that exists is within you. That's why you can tap into anything. So
Right.
just remember,
We're all stardust.
we are.
Yep.
There you are.
We all have the power of creation within us.
Correct.
And we don't need no church
Good night,
or
Lisa.
dogma or anything to tell us that we
Lisa
are.
Rhodes went to bed on us.
Yep.
Oh, I pulled Earth grounding.
Yep.
Yes.
Something we all need to work on as we get ready to go into the new year.
Yep.
That's to get
Right.
grounded.
Get
I
grounded.
have a
Get
feeling
rigid.
we're gonna have a lot of stuff be happening this year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Stuff.
I wish it hadn't taken this long, but better late than never. Right?
Very true.
We got a lot of court scenes we're gonna be watching this year.
Yeah. I just want to share with everybody this piece in case anybody was wondering.
Oh, that is
Oh,
gorgeous.
that's gorgeous.
Is a Heather original. I made this about maybe 10 years ago, 5 to 10 years ago. And I just felt like wearing it for
Very
for
pretty.
tonight with everybody.
Love
So,
that.
yeah.
Love
I
that.
found this in the drawer the other day. I was looking for something.
I just
pretty.
caught my eye.
It's blown glass.
Oh, it's
Oh, let me
blown
put this on.
glass.
Yeah,
It
it's
is
just
gorgeous.
blown glass. Isn't that gorgeous?
Yes. Yes.
That's such
Yeah,
a
I mean
color.
that's the backside is just like a dark blue.
Oh my.
But I haven't been able to wear it for a long time because it's really heavy.
Yeah.
And the chain that came with it broke eons ago. And I found this the other day and I thought, oh, you know what? I just bought a new chain that was black, but that's a real thick rope chain.
Mhm.
And it seems to be perfect.
I
So,
love that. I think that's
It's
gorgeous.
gorgeous.
And it really
And that's
caught
the-
my eye.
And we still have to have you on my channel for the color Global Blue for my color Spirit of Color series.
yes, right, because blue is my color.
And Val, you need to be on that too with me. You got to choose what your favorite color is and be my guest, and we'll do that as well.
I do like
Just
blue,
let me know.
my color. Blue
So
and-
blue's your favorite? I thought you were going to say red because just that beautiful natural fiery spirit.
No, it's my purple. I got.
Oh, purple. Okay.
Okay, we can do purple too. It almost
I
looks
got.
like
But
the evil
blue,
eye.
I love blue as a color.
As you can see behind me, everything is blue.
Yeah.
My living room furniture is blue. My bedroom furniture is blue. My curtains are
It's
blue.
very spiritual.
Are your eyes blue?
Huh?
Are your eyes
They
blue?
are. They are a
Very,
very light blue. They're more gray than blue.
yeah.
My husband used to say I had mood eyes, that he could tell my mood by the color of my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
If they were real gray, it meant I was mad as hell, leave me alone. It was like a storm. If they were blue, it meant I was happy. And if they were green, it meant I was just feeling good for the day, you know? So he would be
Who
like,
needs a mood ring when you got Shari around?
yeah, my eyes gave it all away. So
Yeah, same thing with Shan. He's got this bluish green eyes, but every now and then they tend to go on the gray side. So when I look into his eyes, I never know what I'm gonna see.
now my husband had dark brown eyes, like puppy dog eyes,
So
but
does
they were
mine.
so dark brown that you couldn't tell where the iris and the pupil met.
Ooh,
They almost looked
wow.
solid black. He had to be in direct sunlight for you to see the difference.
Oh,
And my
I
son has
want
the
a
same
purple
eyes.
contacts.
My son has the same colored eyes. He's got those dark, dark, dark brown eyes. You know.
Very cool.
very good.
Well, ladies,
Yes.
thank you.
This was fun.
Fun. It was.
Fun. It was fun. I liked all of our polls, and I think we got some good answers.
And
Yeah.
if you
And we
think of
got to be
something-
silly at the same time.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the best part. And if you two ladies think of a mystery, I'm open to whatever. I would love to have you back on. So if
Okay.
there's something that y'all come across, maybe we even we can get Marina to come and jump on.
Oh,
you know.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, that would be cool.
That'll
That
be
would be
fun.
fun as well. And of
Yep.
course, Ivana.
And Ivana.
But
Get
Ivana
the
and
whole
I
damn
took-
panel going.
And in case anybody's
We'll
wondering,
be here all night.
Yvonne and I took a break for the last for this month with our moon readings because it's just been so busy. But we will start up our new moon and full moon readings in the new year next month. So
Yeah.
just put that
Cool,
out.
cool, cool.
And
Very
Val,
Well,
what
I've
you
got a
got
week
coming
and a
up?
half left of vacation, and then it's back to the grind.
Well, don't
Yeah,
think about
no.
it. Be in the moment. Enjoy it now.
Yeah. Let's see. I got Gerald coming on next week. I've got Jeffrey from Ripe Color coming on next week. I've
I
got
can't get
Dally,
Jeffrey on
the
my
Wolf
channel.
Girl Oracle coming on.
Wow.
And then of course Allie's doing that thing on the 30th on her channel.
Yep. Her
And
daughter's getting married.
yeah, I saw that. I was
So
like,
beautiful December wedding. I love it. I
Yeah.
think it's romantic.
That is nice.
And Val, what about you?
Tomorrow I have Marina and I are doing our Messages for Lightworkers series
Yes,
episode
I'll be there.
on my channel at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, which is 7 Central and 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So
it's tomorrow.
And be
tomorrow.
sure to subscribe to these ladies. Their links are in
Oh,
the
good. I'm wide
description,
open. I
so
don't have
is the
anything in the
video.
calendar.
Good.
Means I get to sit in the chat and hang out.
Sit in my chat, hang out.
Thank you, Heather. Thank you, everybody, for coming here. And everybody have a
This was
beautiful-
fun. We had a lot of fun tonight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was good. Thank you.
It's interesting
ladies.
how Spirit kind of directed,
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
okay, enough of reading on this. Let's get a little bit more over. So, I
Well, we
love
just
it.
kind of flowed from
It's
one
organic.
aspect to another and
It's
just
organic. That's what
It was
I love.
organic.
followed the flow. So here we go.
Oh,
Ooh.
here, wait.
Here we go. Yes.
Oh.
Oh,
She got the big one.
Well, I made this. With the
Oh,
help
you
of
did?
Women. This
I
was
have
in-
a friend
this
who
was
made
class.
mine. Oh my gosh, that's gorgeous.
And I had other women help me with it. It was run by a local
You did a good job.
object love woman, and I've got like my symbols inside of it.
Wow, you did a
And it's
beautiful
deer.
job on that. Wait, I have to go get mine before we sign off.
Oh, okay.
I bought mine in. I bought it for Lewis from Mexico. We've gone down to Nogales, Mexico. That's where I got this. You know.
Oh,
And
my
we'll have
friend
to
made me. My friend made me this one.
Oh, cool.
And then she painted
Oh, I haven't painted yet.
the Holy Grail, and the crystals as you use the drum.
Cool. I took Danny Bathroom Tarot. Danny, he did a shamanic class a couple months back.
Oh, he did?
And after the first night, the first class, he said, okay, next class, everybody bring their rattle. Because you're going to need to rattle, have a rattle.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'm like, I don't have a rattle. And I was like beating myself up because it was like, I don't have money to go buy a rattle. And I don't want to run to the dollar store and get a baby rattle. That's kind of,
Exactly.
So I made one. I took a pill bottle and I put some of my gemstones in there. And then my son
That's awesome.
put the dowel and connected it, screwed it in place.
Awesome.
But the lid still comes off, so I can change out the stones if I want to. If
awesome.
I need.
I think I had Danny on my channel and I talked about being a shaman, doing shamanic stuff. And I think he mentioned that about the really creative ways you can make rattles. It's not.
Yeah, because when I showed it at the next class, he was like, now that's something I've never seen.
That is that is creative, Shari.
That was like me racking my brains, going like, what the hell am I going to make a rattle out of?
The stuffing, whatever, the beans or whatever, rice or whatever.
And I just thought of something. Silver Star Priestess. Her name is Heather as well. She says, Val, it was nice meeting you, and she just subscribed.
Oh,
Yay.
Crystal bowls. So maybe one of these evenings, Heather, you can join us and we can do our drums and our crystal bowls together with some card readings.
That would be fun.
Absolutely.
So I'm just putting that out there. Send me an email. Let me know how you feel about it, because I just love when she does her crystal bowls on Fridays.
Yeah.
She goes through them all. So
all
righty.
Okay.
Everybody, thank you.
Thank you, Silver Star Princess.
Love you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for having us, Heather.
Yes, thank you for coming. Thank you.
Fun.
It was. And we'll see everybody on the flip side.
Here we go.
On the flip.
Woo.
Bye.
Woo woo.